June 16th today, I did some back testing, found 5 trades as usual, and have one live trade that I'm currently in. I wanted to emphasize a new strategy for blue sky trading, or when I'm trading without a clear stop loss or previous area of liquidity, which is that um, when blue sky trading, my plan is to set a clear stop loss. For example, if I took a short here, not that I would, but I would set a stop loss right about around here, this previous area of liquidity. And then from there, I can reflect a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio trade just by looking at where the given stop loss is and then reflecting that over and then dilating the green or the take profit by 1.5. I also wanted to work more emphasizing short-term trades, and by emphasizing the zooming in from 15-minute to 5-minute to 1 minute to find a perfect entry, where I'm using the 15-minute to find just a general confluence trend. I'll maybe go into 5-minute to find order blocks, etc., for retracement, and then when I'm ready to go, I'll just go onto the 1 minute, find a perfect entry, and then that's how I'll enter my trades. Starting off with this trade up here, a pretty strong sort of dump. Um, Strong dump here, and then price retraces back into this area, dumps again, fair value gap, retracement back into this area, and then all we would do here is just find a break of structure on the 1 minute, and that's all I would really need to enter off of. So I drew with the blue a blue circle where price closed below the low right here. It takes out this low, and so this is where I would enter, and then price just dumps right here. Go for immediately after the dump, where after the price retraces back up and it sort of stays within this area of consolidation. As soon as price retraces into this area, what I would do is, although I put it over here as a break of structure, but really just look for a break of structure either here, here, or here. Take profit above here and stop loss, or sorry, stop loss above here, take profit below here. Pretty similar. And I could really take this trade from here, here, or here because price never really exceeds this order. It never pushes past this. So it would just take more time for me to hit take profit. And for the third trade, these are all very similar. Um, this one doesn't really have that much to show for it other than consolidation, down, up, back in, within equilibrium, retracement, and I have a clear, and then I have a fixed 1.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio trade. By the way, here I would probably risk 0.5% because I'm reflecting, and that's not really the same as having a clear area of liquidity to target for take profits. Here I would likely do the same because I'm more or less just, or I suppose I do have this that is within equilibrium of. So this would likely be a 1% risk trade. Um, this would probably be a 0.5%, or really any trade that, or actually, this would be a 1%, I suppose, because I have equilibrium. I have pretty much everything I need. This would be a 0.5% trade just because I don't like reflecting. I like having a clear area to take profit at. And it just feels a little bit too risky to risk 1% when I'm just speculating where a price will go. Here, this trade was a bit different as well. We see that there's a stark bearish retracement up here, and then price seems to push past this order block, and it almost does a support. This sort of mirrors support and resistance, where it forms a new order block and it retraces into this order block, and then finally it retraces into order block one when it finally begins to sort of respect the order block, the first order block, and interesting how it can push past multiple order blocks. And then once it retraces back into the first one, we get a break of structure right here before equilibrium that I would go off of. hits here, or really just anywhere up here because it's all the way up here if I wanted to, because as long as it's closing below this low right here, I'm good to go. And once I have that, I get even more of a risk to reward ratio trade, which would be 2 to 1, setting my take profit down here, stop loss up here. Wouldn't have even gotten close to the red, and it would have just gone right down like I expected. For this last one, or this last back tested trade, we have bullish retracement as usual. Price goes up into this order block, and then it retraces into that, it comes down, retraces back into equilibrium, back into the order block, and then all I have to do is wait for the break of structure marked by this. Again, I could just move this up, marked by this little red circle or blue circle, and I could get up to a 1.89 risk to reward ratio trade off of that with my take profit or my reflected take profit as 1 to 1.5, stop loss clearly above here. And then I could really just set take profit as 1 to 1.5, sort of reflecting and then dilating by a factor of 1.5. Again, this would be a 0.5% trade. This would be a 1% trade just because if I'm reflecting or it's weird in any way, or I actually think this might be a 0.5% trade as well, just because it's sort of going into support and resistance territory in terms of the confluences, and that's really not what I do. So I don't want to risk too much on these trades. This may be a 0.5 to 1% trade because it seems to respect both order blocks very well, but this would for sure be a 0.5% trade. So 1%, 0.5%. For this live trade I'm currently in, what I'm looking for is a from like a bearish retracement into this fair value gap right here. But what I'm looking for is for price to hit this area of consolidation or this sort of slash like group of order blocks pretty much. This order block right here is what I'm looking for price to retrace into before, and then once I get that done, I can get a very good equilibrium within here. As soon as it breaks structure to the downside, I'm doing a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio trade. And that's pretty much it for the day. I'm just waiting for price to hit up here and then I can short it. And I believe it'll continue trend. It's really crazy how I've seen the market just go down with such consistency, and just watching the US dollar weaken so quickly. It's something I really haven't seen when looking at the chart so far. Those are my five back tested trades, and that's the trade I'm currently looking at right now, and hopefully all goes well.